well out of my grasp, probably 10 feet away from me. And he just walked over the edge.
A mystery on Mount Whitney. A teenager from Valencia suddenly walks off a cliff while hiking with his dad. Now imagine holding your injured child for 6 straight hours in the dark in the wilderness. What happened to this Valencia teenager could happen to anyone who climbs to elevated heights. Tonight, that young man is out of a medically induced coma, eyes open, breathing on his own. But his father tells us he has a very long way to go after falling so very far. Tonight, for the first time and only on NBC4, a story of survival and of a supportive community. This weekend, we watched as more banners were unfurled. Swim clubs in the Santa Clarita Valley seem to be dedicating each dive to 14-year-old Zane Wach. Zane, a competitive swimmer and member of the Heart High swim team, is right now surrounded by messages from home on the wall of his Las Vegas hospital room.
It's touched our heart so much. I can't wait to be able to tell Zane all these things.
There will be a lot for Ryan Wach to tell his son about their trek to Mount Whitney.
I've been into mountaineering for the last 6 or 7 years, and this was really our first trip together that I was going to introduce him kind of to the next level of an actual mountaineering peak.
And together, they reached the highest peak in the contiguous United States. No problem.
He actually did phenomenal.
But in hour 19, during their descent, Zane began behaving erratically.
And he said, Dad, I'm hallucinating. So you see all those little snow things, spots down there, snow fields, they look like snowmen. Or the Green Lakes over there, it kind of looks like Kermit the Frog and his friends, where he's hallucinating and I can't get him to hike down. I don't know what to do.
What was wrong with Zane?
Sounds like altitude sickness based upon his presentation. It's very common initially when patients, especially for people who cross 8,000 feet, they're going to start to develop sometimes headaches, dizziness, and for some people, it can progress into confusion.
Dr. Sham Rao with St. Mary Medical Center in Long Beach says to deal with altitude sickness,
the best option is to just quit the ascent and then slowly descend down the mountain.
But there at 9,000 feet, Zane's condition was going from bad to worse.
I was starting to cry out of just desperation and fear and not knowing what was going to happen or whatever. He just seemed so unstable and unpredictable. And I went to wipe kind of the tears from my eyes, take a second, think, I don't know what to do. And he just walked over the edge like he was walking to the car. I just screamed. I was certain he had died. I didn't know how you could survive that.
This is video of Inyo County Search and Rescue and a CHP Apple Valley Air Unit heading to Mount Whitney to find the critically injured teenager who fell 120 feet onto solid granite. And while they waited,
my job was to hold him and keep him warm.
There on the ground, a father held his son as the hours ticked by.
Then it got dark, and then it got pitch black, and then it got cold. We were there for about 6 hours before search and rescue came.
We have lifted the patient and the father en route.
En route to the closest pediatric trauma center. That was June 10th. Zane's been there ever since, surrounded in Las Vegas by well wishes and the echoes from 300 miles away.
I miss him a lot, and we all love you so much, Zane.
Where in the Santa Clarita Valley, it is the summer of Zane. Spoke with Ryan Wach this evening. He says that Zane will have to learn everything, Kathy, all over again, to walk, to talk, to eat.
Amazing what his dad did. But I'm wondering, is there a way to avoid altitude sickness?
Yeah, Dr. Rao of St. Mary Medical Center out of Long Beach says the best way to avoid it is to acclimate with each 1,000 feet, avoid dehydration, avoid overexertion.
All right. Well, we wish them the best.